So moving on, let's continue with the slabs. Select these objects. There we are, and we'll do the exact same process. These need to be named. So we'll go back to our script, run script, select all of these objects. Say OK, prefix will be slab. OK, and that's done. So very quick. We'll see again, named somewhat randomly. We will export selected. This time, since we already have that set, we know we need the object property file. So SLB, save. That's set to the previous settings, OK. And we'll also export selected as the 3ds file again. SLB, OK. And again in Navisworks, so going back to Navisworks, we will merge, Control M, and bring in now, let's see these in details. We'll bring in the slab file. So there's that. And we're going to run through the same process again. We will go find the slab CSV. Double click. We now have these objects. Again, we don't need this first column. All the objects named. We will text column delimited by commas, finish, X, Y, Z. And again, we'll sort by Z and then by X, smallest to largest. There they are, and we will now select the slab objects. Again, you can see they're in no particular order, except now that we've sorted them. And now in project, we have to open that existing project again. It closes every time you sequence, so we'll just reopen this. And you'll see that we have our superstructure, which we should really be more specific and say that these are column, beam, and now we will have our slab. We'll paste objects we just had, and again select auto schedule. We can set that up to be the default. Just not going to do that for now. Select all those objects. Again, leaving that top one that we just made off. Linking them so they're all attached to each other, and then indenting so they're under the slab roll-up. So what this will allow us to do is, essentially move this object so it's staggered from column and beam. Let's zoom entire project so we can sort of see. And again, these maybe take a little bit longer. So let's say these take 4 days to pour, chunk of slab, fill down. So you see again, none of this is accurate. Sort of how quickly it becomes to sequence these things, and we realize that this really should finish around the same time. So the slabs will be poured. You can either do this kind of by eye. There's definitely more intricate or more technical ways to set this up, but we just did that by eye. There we have it, and this is staggered a bit, so we'll see how this looks. And then we'll hit save. So now in Navisworks, we're going to have to go back to our data source and right click and rebuild the task hierarchy because we changed the structure of it. So this is going to go through again and rebuild, and it should now incorporate the new slab or column and beam and slab structure. So this thing is building, and again we'll have to go through the process of linking the geometry by name. So now here we do have column and beam. Great, and slab. And you'll see here it did remember the explicit selection for the common beam. The new objects do not have that, and they do not have task type. So once again, you'll have to go to auto name, auto attach using rules. There they are, name rule, override current selection, apply rules. And this should attach the new objects from slab to the project tasks under slab. So one thing we do need to do, this was set to construct. Alright, we'll close this. We need to set the new objects to construct. There is a way to shortcut that through the Microsoft project, but we're not going to do that now. And we will fill down. Now, everything's set to construct, and let's see what this looks like. As we simulate, we'll hit play. We see the structure start to build. This can be navigated while the sequence is moving, so it's going to get to a certain point, and the slabs should come in. There they are. So they're building by floor and then from west to east as it goes through, so we can see that effectively doing what we want. And again, we can be much more specific in the schedule to sequence, precise start and stops, finish starts of these events. So this is a sort of basic setup.